What's up guys, J-Rod Bro here and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be reacting to What is the Amazing Digital Circus? AU Explained. And without further ado, let's get on to the video. And I wonder what this is going to be, like a project?
The Amazing Digital Circus, AU, also known as Alternate Universe. In this episode, this circus isn't gonna bring any joy, as if the original already does. But if you haven't already heard, the AU series is coming to an end, and I will be covering all of these on the screen, and that's it. And in this video, because I'm cool like that, I'm gonna be covering 2 alternate universes of Digital Circus. So sit back and enjoy while they sit there and suffer. The first AU we're covering is an infection inspired by a zombie apocalypse, showing the characters like Kane, Pomni, Ragatha, Jax. What the heck happened to Gangle? So first off, it's said that the virus unfortunately started happening and getting worse when Pomni fell into the world of Digital Circus. And she's already going insane because of what she just witnessed happen to Kaufmo. Now Kaufmo is infected, pretty much mirroring what happened in the original series when Pomni came down to the Digital Circus. He was corrupted. He looked like an infection. What he was actually going through was a thing called abstracting, because he was going crazy about finding an exit. But in this alternate story, I guess he met Pomni beforehand and formed a friendship with her with the goal to finding exits to leave. But sadly, he was unaware that he was infected the whole time and cannot even open his mouth and has a muffled laughter that can be heard. It seems like Zubul tried fighting him off, judging by the cutting, and it seems like the infection began in the palms of his hands for some reason. And back to Pomni, she's basically trying to find an exit the whole time, can't stop crying, and is constantly defending herself. Ragatha unfortunately is infected, but she can be cured as she's only in stage 1 and is viewing the other infected from afar, staying safe. And she needs to find a cure because these are the stages. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4 stages. So in the beginning, your stress increases, of course, you're panicking, and then your eyes start to leak this black substance. Then by stage 2, the black substance starts to leak out throughout all of these subjects' body, including the mouth, the eyes, any hole you can think of. Wait, hold on, don't think too far. But anyways, the stress is at an all-time high, of course, and they're at their lowest in terms of self-esteem. By stage 3, it's too gory to even show, and they just start to mutate into whatever this creature is. Oh my glob. All subjects look like bugs, but not always the same ones, just they always resemble one. And by this stage, they got a weapon and they start hunting, even mimicking their victim to lure their friends in, which is crazy. But yeah, Zubul is doing great. They're actually described as the best fighter, which makes sense because they're a walking weapon. She's also the crew's biggest defense and cleans her limbs so that nothing gets contaminated, and also got into a fight with Jax. Makes sense. Jax doesn't really get along with everybody himself. Even though they try to be nice to him, he doesn't really try to be nice back. And what's weird is that he probably wants to, but something is just deeply affecting him, which is kind of messing with his personality and how he treats others. Which leads us to him, which he is kind of injured after getting in a fight with them. So he has a scar on his face from Zubul and has constantly been fighting off the infected and getting into a lot of fights. His sanity is already low, but trust me, it has nothing to do with the virus. This is just his sanity on a regular basis. Gangle unfortunately is in the final stage of the infection, and since she has a happy mask and a sad tragedy mask, the sad one is being used to kind of lure her friends in. And there's even a new mask that we don't even know how it even exists. And this is when we start to see that Pomni is infected with this virus as well. So Zubul has to deal with her and also remove Ragatha's arm. Now where's Kane out of all of this? The big guy, or should I say midget that runs the show? Well, him and his little thought bubble are clearly infected and are very aggressive. I mean, Kane in the series is already unstable enough, so it seems like the infection is kind of stacking up and multiplying his craziness. On top of that, he has some sort of huge connection with the surface, and as the more people get corrupted, he gets corrupted. And the way he even got corrupted was actually fighting off the virus and trying to fix things, and then out of nowhere was infected. And now he talks to himself and is described as broken. Now here's where things start to get interesting. So Ragatha is yelling at Zubul to
remove my arm now.
And Zubul's like, hold still. Dropped her arm out of her inventory. And then after, she's like, I hope this Pomni was worth your arm. Zubul, there's no need to be rude. She can't help it. She's new. Plus, more help is always good. I'm sure she will be useful. Okay, I'll go talk to her, okay? At the moment, Pomni's losing it. Remember at the beginning when she first joined the digital circus, she didn't think any of it was real. She didn't want to believe any of this was real and was just trying to find an exit or wake up from her dream or whatever she was thinking that she was at. And basically the infection is making that reaction she had in the original story 10 times worse.
Hey, Pomni.
Oh my God, your eyes. Kinger, how do you feel? What?
I heard her voice. Didn't you hear her? Didn't you see her too?
Ah, wrong end of the axe. Jax, what the You could have killed him. That's not how you say thank you, Potato Head. Unless you wanted to get infected, then sure, do that. But Kinger never got injured by an infected. I don't know what was wrong with him. Real low of you, Jax. Lower than usual. You can't hunt someone who hasn't even turned. Let me say this slowly so you understand. No cure will ever exist. Got it? Not true. Everyone knows you're just using this infection to be more of a violent jerk.
What if there's no cure? I'll end up just like Cosmo. Oh my God. So if I'm infected, am I going to die?
Pomni, Kinger needs our help. You're really not gonna listen to them, right? Come with me. Now this is where something so cool happens, where the voices in the heads of the infected are actually the people in the comment section, influencing the characters that are infected in real time. And that's what we do to Pomni. And so while Jax and Zubul are saying, yo, come with me, Pomni's trying to figure out where these voices are coming from. And then they finally tell her to go to Zubul, which ultimately was the right decision because Jax wasn't going to be nice with her. So after they start to get in the process of tying up the king, because he is going to be their use of trying to find out what the stages look like of the infection if he is infected. And so if you look at Kinger, it says that he was the first one to witness the virus in Digital Circus. He's been infected for a while, but it's just that Ragatha doesn't want to get rid of him and wants to give him a chance, hoping that he could be cured. Ragatha and Kinger have an amazing relationship, and he's gotten her through a lot. But his memory is slipping, so they have to hurry up and find that cure. But anyways, as he's getting tied up, Pomni's like, so we're just gonna see the process? See this guy just lose himself bit by bit? That's when Ragatha's like, okay, we could find a cure if he goes through all these stages, you never know. And then also, Kinger is at a point where there's no coming back. So let's just use him for this situation. Pomni still starts to lose it. I seen it with Kufmo. Pomni? There's no secret. There's no info to gain. Ragatha? It's just pain and fear. This is not how we can help Kinger. Guys! What do I do? They ask if Kinger's alright, and he's just ignoring the things trying to get into his head. And then he snaps back and is like, "Arr!" And then Ragatha's like, hey, Kinger, you doing alright? Oh, hey, Ragatha? Probably not. Hearing and seeing things. Crazy internal voices are just common in the circus, I guess. Wait, I probably shouldn't compare myself to him. I'm fine, aren't I? So when she asks that, of course, all the voices, or should I say the comments, start going crazy in her head, and she just starts yelling, shut up, shut up! And as you can tell by the eyes in the background, she's beginning to abstract. Isn't a good thing. I wish it was. Then she sees Kane, and he's like, what an adventure you're on, Pomni. You're different, aren't you? Hopefully you won't die. And then she snaps back into reality and says, okay, we should keep an eye on Kinger. And says, have you guys seen some weird teeth dude? Lots of eyes. You mean Kane? You saw Kane. How? Oh, well, it's hard to describe how, just who's Kane? What is he? Then Ragatha basically explains it, breaks it down quickly for her that he's basically the ringmaster of the circus and went missing after all of this went down. And then she theorizes that he knows that there's something wrong, but he just can't fix it. And judging by off like the whole series, he usually is able to fix things, but after episode 7, it seems like if he can't fix something or is failing to fix something, he doesn't like that. She also thinks that he went missing because he doesn't want to hurt them. And then she goes on by saying, oh, I miss his adventures. They weren't that bad compared to this. But then out of nowhere, King was like, oh, hi, Gangle. Gets grabbed, and then Ragatha, who's still not noticing, she's like, geez, Kinger, are you still hallucinating? And he's like, maybe. Ah! And he gets completely dragged off. But he isn't the only one that gets dragged off. You look at the bottom left, it looks like Zubul was also taken as well. Especially because after that, they're like, where's Zubul? Oh my gosh, Kinger, they'll die, we gotta go. And it's been like almost a year and that AU hasn't been updated. So yeah, that sucks. Now this next AU doesn't have much lore. It's just a more cursed digital circus from Duffy Films. It's like a way darker twist with less context on Digital Circus. And it begins with an anti-piracy screen from someone who tried to pirate the game Digital Circus itself. And Kane sitting there with a sad eyeball mouth face just behind bars. The next footage is Kane being tested on by maybe a developer, and basically they're trying to get him to learn understanding and interaction. Just think of Kane being in development. That's what's going on right here. Like, I don't know, the footage is not really that disturbing, but you can just tell something's off or something's going to happen. He's just learning how to use his powers normally, but that's the thing. He's not normal. And in the next tape, he's in a boat, watching goldfish jump over his boat, and then he's also stargazing. And then something goes wrong. It happens in a quick second, but I slowed it down. That's when in the next tape we see a player being tested on, and he's being modeled, but the name's not confirmed, but this is definitely Jax. His arms are super long and slendy like an Enderman from Minecraft, and his smile even makes this model more creepier. And then as he's being modeled, he starts walking towards the screen and everything starts glitching. Imagine working on a character as a game developer and they just start walking towards the screen and just get a mind of their own. And then the logo C&A shows up on the screen for a quick second, which is the place where the Amazing Digital Circus is actually being ran on this computer. The next footage is Gangle, who seemingly is being worked on and is looking at the screen saying, I know you're there. I can't see you, but I know you're there. I think the others know you're here too. I'm not sure if that is a good thing, but we are alone for now. It's not so bad being here. I'm kept busy, but sometimes the others like to play jokes on me, and sometimes it's painful. Never mind. Let's not talk about me. Who are you? Should have guessed. There's no point on asking. Sorry, it's just very confusing for me. Are you real? I don't know if I am. Being here makes you forget about what being real feels like. It's nice to meet you. We are playing a game. I'm hiding. I just hope they don't take it too far this time. I hear them. Next tape shows us Pomni, but it's not Pomni.
Oh gosh.
Her name is Jester this time. And this title screen just keeps repeating over and over again. Like this C&A worker that's testing on this model is kind of doing their job, but things just keep getting worse. Things start going missing, slowing down, and getting disrupted until everything goes black. Until this starts to happen.
I have no mouth and I must scream! The reference.
In the next tape footage, Kane is back at the lake, but everything looks normal until things start to get weird. everything goes dark and that lake is now full of blood. And then eventually it shows Jax, who's seemingly sleeping and having a horrible dream. And when it goes into the lakes, you see Jester going towards the screen. And then everything goes black. And in the next tape, titled Old God, it shows Kane just sitting there, doing nothing this time.
Yeah.
And all the characters flashing on the screen, which if you don't theorize or haven't theorized already, he has went mad. He's completely failed the testing and is just way more unstable than he is in the original Digital Circus. So I don't know what's gonna happen to these characters, but it's not gonna be pretty adventures. So the next tape starts and a lot of weird stuff is going on. Then out of nowhere, it shows Ragatha being gutted out. Now Kane can telepathically rearrange their minds a bit and get into their heads, but it seems like he's going a different route in this alternate universe. He's completely dissecting them from the inside out. And then in the next scene, you can see him talking to Zulbul, which is pretty much common between him and Zulbul, that he's always trying to understand her, and they really don't get along because she hates his adventures, and clearly she's not liking this one's adventures either. Now Jester finds Ragatha on the ground, and note that she actually calls her Annie, which is the character that she's based off of, the little doll, which is known as the original Annabelle, and she says that, "Don't worry, you can't die." Leans down and touches her. What happened to her after this? The next tape is labeled A Conversation. And this tape, I'm not gonna lie, weirded me out because the first whole minute was just Gangle walking very slowly towards Zulbul, but she's named Nullable in this, probably because of the lack of coloring. And as the conversation starts, they start going on with how are you doing, you're doing well, blah blah, and then the ball gets dropped that she is the god of the Digital Circus, and then says, "I would kill to just undo it all and see him again." And that's when Gangle asks, "Have you seen it?" And she's like, what are you talking about? It, and they're like, "Oh, that thing." Not really telling us what they're talking about to kind of lead up to some suspense. But when Gangle asks why she's here, she says that she wants to be alone because she keeps hearing voices in her head and just wishes it all stopped. And then she asks, "How did you find me here?" And finds out she was being followed the whole time. But anyways, Noble blames herself for whatever's going on and is truly sorry and apologizes for whatever's going on or happening. And that's when Gangle starts to show that her intentions on being there was to scold her for being the reason why everything's so bad or for something else. And we don't know because Noble just walks away and goes to her room and even runs into Jax and Ragatha on the way there, but is not in the mood for any of their games or playing around and goes to her room. When she goes into her room, she tries to, herself. And the scene is pretty crazy, but anyways, you start to see that through the wall, the Jester is coming in and come to find out that they are the ringmaster. And she came in saying, "You thought that would really work?" And so that means that she has some sort of order or rules or just so much fear on everyone there that they don't even want to bring up her name and talk about them in a way that'll get their attention, or else they might get dissected or something. And you're about to find out exactly what happens. Because in the next tape labeled The Truth, Gangle's fighting with Jax, and supposedly Jax started this fight and it got broken up eventually. But something was off because Jax wasn't too happy with it after that, and he ended up walking away and was super sad. And so while he's walking for a long time, you can see that he's in his feelings, and he ends up going to Noble's room to talk to her about something that we don't really get to see. And so after they're done having their late night conversation, when he's walking back to his room, he randomly gets teleported to this field. And Jester's there waiting for him, and she tells him, "Oh, I made this field, it took days to make it." And at this moment, it's very noticeable that Jax is freaking terrified and also wants to know, why is he here? And why did they make all of this? And then Jester actually spills the beans and says, "You didn't do your job. Why are you talking to them? Why are you talking to them?" And takes his limbs and just starts torturing him badly. And you can see that she's mentally unstable because she just keeps talking about how she's his everything. She's the earth, wind, water, whatever. And because he didn't do his quote-unquote job, which was most likely to just be annoying to the other players, she dropped him in a cornfield where he's completely uncomfortable. And the reason why this is just horrible for Jax is because we know that Jax in the original series hates corn. Something about it scares him to death. So she just basically dropped him into a torture dungeon. And the episode ends with Gangle trying to tell King, or in this universe, Crowner, what happened between her and Jax. And basically she just says that Jax started hating her for no reason, which literally confirms that his job is to mess with them for no reason, and he doesn't want to do that. But you'll have to watch the rest on their channel by search or by going in the description, because I gotta watch that new Digital Circus episode 8. So see ya.
Bye.
Peace. Subscribe.
Alright.
Search.
And yeah. That was it. Well guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications down below. Comment down below if y'all think that I should check out the 2 series or not. If not, then that's okay, I understand. And until then, bye. See y'all in the next video.